voters have wanted to hear their candidate dress down a Clinton for decades. Last night they heard it. Donald Trump laid into Hillary Clinton to her face. He said she's a liar, said she has hate in her heart, said were he president, she'd be in jail, and that if he does become president, he'll instruct his Justice Department to investigate her. Great stuff for your campaign base. The base that's been running against the Clintons for a long time, and frankly, many of whom have been hating the Clintons and everything about them for decades and decades. But the thing is, the people who wanted to hear that, the pollsters tell us they're already voting for Donald Trump. And there are no more of them to go get from this some undecided pool or a pool of people who aren't doing anything. They're not available. What you need to get if you're Donald Trump and you want to be president is women in the suburbs of Pittsburgh and Philly. And that's not what they want to hear, according to the pollsters. According to the Trump's own campaign, his own people, what they wanted to hear was some contrition and then some plan to make their lives better with some specific. Something onto which people could grasp and say, yes, that is better than Hillary Clinton. Yes, that's what I wanted. Not the base of the party who's already made the decision, but those undecideds. They didn't get that. So the conventional wisdom is he didn't move the undecideds, the ones he has to move if he wants to win. And he didn't try to. Why not? Glenn Hall is here, the U.S. editor for the Wall Street Journal. We've been hearing for weeks and reporting, our own reporters, Carl Cameron, so many, reporting, Jennifer Griffin, reading in the Wall Street Journal, day in and day, here's what you have to do. He didn't try it. Why not?
He got thrown off balance. The revelations last Friday going into the debate weekend dominated the conversation at the beginning of the debate. You could see in the second half of the debate him starting to get on topic. You could see the debate prep that he had done, and he was bringing out his message. He was bringing out his prosecution of Hillary Clinton and her emails and her history.
But that's not what they want.
It was an effort to try to at least bring his message and a substantive discussion to the table, which is one of the things people have been saying he needed to do more of.
But this attack is what the base has always wanted, and the base got it in spades last night. I mean, it might have been bordering on unconstitutional, maybe even something almost definitionally fascist. This, if I get elected, I'm going to prosecute my political opponent. That's never been done in the history of the United States. But I mean, maybe it's what they wanted to hear, but it doesn't help you with the ones you need, which is why I ask, is he not really trying to win this race, which we've heard whispers about all this time? If you want it, you got to have suburban women in Philadelphia. He did not make a play for them. He has not made a play for them. To the degree where Paul Ryan of Middle America, leading the party in the House of Representatives, abandoned him after the debate. Not before it, after it. He didn't try. Is he just going to go run? He's brought his base together in a way they've never been. I mean, if that didn't do it last night, they are together. Now, what does he do with them? Does he give them a media network? Or what is he doing?
Well, there was a real sense that last night, damage control was the first priority, trying to make sure he didn't lose any of that base, because without him, he can't go any further.
I thought that was about contrition. There were no more apologies last night. There was no more, I love Melania, I'm sorry, I will never, I'm sorry my daughters had to hear this, I wish I hadn't said it. He can go with locker room talk, but then go, I won't do this again. Young men of America, you cannot treat with. He didn't do any of that stuff. That would have been so easy.
There could have been more, for sure, and it might have gone a long way towards helping win over some of those undecided voters, for sure. We're going to see more about that. I don't think we're going to see more from the apology side. I think he wants to move on. That was pretty clear last night. I think you'd agree.
I don't blame him. But really, you have the people you're going to have. You have 40% or so. They're the ones who want to hate on the Clintons. They're the ones who want to make sure this and that, Supreme Court justices and the rest. But when you get asked a question about Aleppo, and what are you going to do about Aleppo, and you say a couple of words, sort of a little word salad about Aleppo, and then you move on to something going on in Iraq, which is nowhere near Aleppo. You don't even have anything to say about the humanitarian crisis of epic proportions that's unfolding there. You've clearly decided that you're just going to shore up your base. And if all he wants to do is shore up his base, why would he do that? Well, he might want to do something with that base after this election is over. And there's been all kinds of talk about him developing some sort of media network that would play to that base with the former Breitbart editor, Bannon, who was in the room last night during the press conference with the former Clinton accusers. It's all set up not as a guy who's trying to win what's left to get, but a guy who has another agenda. And I just wonder, at the Wall Street Journal, do you have an idea what it is?
I don't have an idea of what the end game is here. When Monica Langley from the Journal sat down with Trump after the revelations on Friday, he was adamant that he is not going to quit this race. He is going to see this through, and he was very passionate about it.
That's for sure.
But, you know, what you raised, though, beyond whether there's an end game or not, there's a problem for the Republican Party. You have a nominee that does not have the support of his entire party behind him. That's a problem for both sides, because if the presidential nominee does really poorly in this election, it can have repercussions for those running for Congress and Senate and so forth, and vice versa.
I'll show you